I'm being picked up on the stream. That's good. Okay. I now have music.
Massive.
Alright, raffle.
Yeah, they haven't started yet.
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but you know, whatever they want to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Their logo looks really trash, and I don't know why.
Unfortunate.
Like, I don't know if it's just like compressed really weird. Oh, they're started, because of course they did.
Oh, huge.
I haven't announced it, but it's on stream if you... Oh, I could do like an introduction. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Maris, my co-caster's Oath. This is week 6 of Victoris Rival Series. We got Return of the Middlesticks Darkwind coming in at 5-0, and Degenerate Esports Reformed at 3-2. It's a pretty big game. The Darkwind boys have probably their 2 hardest games left. Both this game against Degenerate Esports, and then next week against Dorado Gaming Kappa. Theoretically, the 2 most difficult teams in their group. So, big one for confidence here going into playoffs. Even though RotM's pretty much locked. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
like
let you...
these games can start determining a lot of momentum. So. Yeah, we don't play against Udyr here. New Udyr, fun character. I don't know if they're losing bans because they were late or.
Yeah, I'm missing context on why, but they are missing.
Yeah.
Bans,
they're banning. They're picking bans for like timer and such. ASOL first, Teemo second. So they are losing bans for I think all 3 of the first rounders. So it was Dorado Gaming that actually saved our butts so that we could get here on time, but they were late, so they lose bans and we're B1 surfing, because that's not going away anytime soon. Which is fun, I can appreciate that. We also don't like Misfortune or Samira here, which is a little interesting because neither of those characters are like particularly incredible ADCs on this patch, but that's alright. We're defaulting to Ashe. I like Ashe. Ashe good.
Ashe is fine.
Incredibly annoying, but also like fairly flexible as a pick right now. Like this isn't necessarily ADC Ashe. It could just be Ashe.
Boy, it's been a minute since we've streamed apparently. So, yeah. Welcome back to the stream, everyone. Sorry that we missed a bunch of games, but basically all we've missed is 2 forfeit wins for Darkwind and a bunch of stream games for Surprise Party. So we're catching back up, but Senna locked in for the bottom lane of RotM, and they got Mason's Aatrox, so feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah, fairly likely the Senna Seraphine lane. I think it's unlikely that we go mid here with that. Leo's a fairly good answer to that, relatively speaking. I mean, both characters, while having a lot of sustain, don't exactly have the massive health pool that lets them not die. So it is 100% ADC Ashe as well, and maybe we get some second round bans that make more sense. Like that one, we don't like Vex.
Sorry, I just got home after staying 2 hours late to run samples, so I'm a little everywhere for a second. We'll focus in as we get going, but I haven't eaten dinner, notably just kind of wandered in, set everything down, and started up the stream. So, try to keep more on top of it. Zitzao, Jarvan, Galio, all gone, as well as the Vex, and we are looking for a jungler and a solo lane in mid.
It was a little interesting to see Jarvan and Galio banned by opposite teams, but probably at least somewhat targeted where we want to pick here, and we did not. So that's something. It's Olaf.
Okay, the blank space is Olaf.
I'll let Taylor Swift know, so that she can write Olaf's name.
Yeah.
I'll see myself out.
I
Looking at Talia, so that's probably the other solo laner, although it could reasonably be jungle.
I like that one, honestly. That was...
Thanks. It was not planned or prompted in any way, so. There isn't a whole lot of like ambiguity you can add to the Talia here. It's either mid or jungle, and we're going to know in about 9 seconds.
Unless you pick another mid jungle.
Yeah,
flex.
you could pick another mid jungle flex. That is a very small pool, and that's not one of those characters. I was thinking maybe like Diana would maybe fit that role, but we're getting Ori instead, which it feels a little interesting. We don't exactly have the world's best ball delivery system, and by that I mean we have 0 ball delivery system, so all shockwaves are raw.
Aatrox delivers something.
He does okay, but it's not like you're pairing this with like Malphite or Vi even.
This
something
is a
like
weird
that.
team comp from like this is a very Darkwind team comp, but it doesn't team fight particularly well. And it also
I'm also a
doesn't
little worried.
split push particularly well. It just feels like you have to be ahead and then play from ahead. Otherwise you get picked and die a lot.
Well, I'm particularly curious about the Orianna pick, knowing that Olaf Sedge. Well, you didn't know about Sedge, but Olaf Akali is your top side. You're playing that character into 2 characters who really mess you up without putting a whole lot of effort into it either. So.
I have not fixed the client. Whoops. Oh. This Champ Select music's kind of a banger that we found. It's called In the Hood. Oh, Class in the Hood. By Billy Lincoln and Henry Gorman. Well-known hood enthusiasts, I guess.
Natural. Yeah, this is kind of a banger. I just turned the stream audio on. Nice.
It was one of the ones,
well,
like, as someone who has to play Champ Select music a lot, it was one I hadn't recognized before. I didn't realize that I don't think I'd ever played it, so throw it in here, see what happens. What do you want next? Do you want Aggressive Michael the Diner, or Last One Standing?
Ooh, last one standing.
Rather than Aggressive Michael?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
As a rule, I typically like my Michaels as passive as possible.
That seems fair.
Brad's, on the other hand, Brad's always go aggressive. We're treating this like a game of Stratego now.
It's like Stratego mixed with Guess Who, right?
Right, exactly. So going down the list, I mean, you already kind of called it. Return of the Middle Sticks comp needs to get ahead. It doesn't team fight especially well. Like, it's not that they can't, it's that into this particular comp from Reformed is not great.
Oh, if anybody's wondering about the stream title, degenerate is apparently a banned word in stream titles, so they're just esports.
Yeah. Yeah, Twitch has made several decisions recently on like words that you can't and cannot use in the Twitch space, and some of them make sense and some of them really just don't. But the ones that make sense really do make a lot of sense, so It's hard to be too upset with them.
I'm telling you, Heimerdoodles is as cracked as he is Jack. I saw him at 7-Eleven the other day buying Monster and adult diapers. I asked him what the diapers were for, and he said, they contain my full power so I don't completely shit on these kids. Then he grave stashed out the door.
Excellent. Love that. Tier 1.
I feel like you could swap in the actual name of the grave stash.
Mm-hmm.
I'd tell you what it is, but I actually don't know offhand. Is it True Grit? No, that's his. Oh, it's just Quick Draw.
True Grit's his passive. It's Quick Draw. Yep.
Actually, his passive is now called New Destiny.
Really?
Yeah, when he got his rework, it went from True Grit to New Destiny.
I feel like that's supposed to play some way into the Graves TF lore, and it kind of misses the mark.
It's because his shotgun's name is Destiny, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
I don't know what makes it new exactly. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got. We got 3 minutes to kill. But yeah, it's a relatively big game for Darkwind. Oh, if you haven't joined, if you did your pick'ems and want to join, there's a pick'em leaderboard in the RotM Discord. Make sure you join that so that you can earn prizes. I'm pretty sure you can still join if you haven't, but your picks are locked for the Crystal Ball. Which, boy, am I going to tell you, I'm wrong on all the champion ones, so.
Yeah, so am I.
I have hope for 2 of them, I guess, but most picked and most banned, not going to get those. I somehow missed that Zeri got nerfed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, completely makes sense. That character was pretty good, as it turns out, and is still pretty good. But yeah, I thought she somehow got away without being nerfed in between playoffs and now. But I guess they finally got her.
Not quite, yeah. I'm fairly confident about most of my player picks.
I'm not, but I'm hopeful, you know? That and I got to pick my boy's CTBC Flying Oyster for one of the team's picks, so that's a good day.
Massive.
Because, like, really, is there a better name right now in League of Legends?
No. No, there's no way, right?
Over, under on Senna deaths? What do you mean by this?
What is the over-under on Senna deaths?
Oh.
Although I guess for there to be an over-under, I need to pick a value.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd probably go 3.5 if I had to guess.
I think 3.5 is fair. I was gonna go 4.
Well, what I learned is you don't go a whole number because then you just push and then you're really sad when you have to pay out. And because like, oh yeah, both of you should have picked push. Ugh. So go 3.5. Over 3.5. Damn, calling out Ramesar.
My call out of my message wasn't even a call out of Ramesar, by the way. I just think it's really difficult to play Senna in this game. All hail Odin is with us is just gonna run at you. So
Is this the mix of music on YouTube based on your account profile?
I
Like when
think
you're
it's
listening
based
to a
off
music
of like
and then it gives you a mix.
I think the mix is based off of like you're recommended to an extent, but it's also based off of the video that you select the mix from. So like the thumbnail should be what what is currently playing, and
Yeah,
then it
so
starts
it's
playing things
LCS
based on
Champ
that.
Sect music, and then it has related songs as Starset, Hatsune Miku, Eiffel 65, and more.
Yep, that all looks about right. The algorithm for determining that does not make any sense to me, and I've had it explained to me by people who like algorithm. Of course, they have never actually seen it, I assume, but still.
This is a click through guy, by the way, if you needed to start the game, and we're sitting on a black screen.
Oh, this is what now?
You have to click on the timeline to get it to load.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I kind of hated that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm
Well,
at like
I can see now.
31, 32, 33.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Cool. I said to pick me Fiora, and they don't trust me. Cartana already. Setting up the excuses in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
Notably, no flashes between the two solo laners for Degenerate Esports. Would you
Which
classify
feels like
that
a
as...
particularly interesting choice on Sedge.
I've seen it. I don't understand it, but I have definitely seen it on Sejuani. That was really kind of them.
Madge.
Is this a strat on Talia? You worked ground in front of your camp so that you get the big boulder? Oh, because it stuns. Oh.
Yeah, because it's CC.
Okay.
It stuns for quite some time. Like, it's less damage, but it's more damage because you're saving health by not ever getting hit.
Neat. Okay. I forgot that it stunned jungle camps. That was...
Yeah, the stun on jungle camps is kind of crazy too. It's like 1.5 seconds space. Or something similar.
I could probably jungle Talia now. That was always... You know, not super great at conserving my health when I jungle a lot of times, so...
Yeah, it
is
is
a hold up, but I could probably do that. Yeah. If I ever played Summoner's Rift, maybe a consideration. Really appreciate... Well, Ramisaur's gonna take a little bit of damage here. That's a level 1 Leona, though. Alkalora and Elixia, look at the Skinergy. Not only do they both have the High Noon skins, they both have the purple chromas for the High Noon skins. Like, that's a commitment. That's top tier.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's pretty impressive.
It would have been better had, you know, anyone else on their team also followed through with it, but like that's really showing your wallet to start out with. Shensur's gonna take a gank in the top lane. He went red to opponent's blue side. A little dash over the wall from Mason, and he's actually out of there. So.
Yep, and that'll be the ignite off of Cortana as well, which is important to have down, especially in the Aatrox lane. Which is pretty nice.
Cortana's that blue lady in Halo, right?
I would start the trend, but I'm actually having trouble thinking of something else. Which is really unfortunate.
I'm glad the channel isn't like super big, you know? Like, we have a reasonable amount of people. We could do with a couple more in here, but when you get too big, you make a joke like that, and people... There's at least one person who's going to think you're serious, and then you have to explain that you're not. But
yeah, no, balance of probability is at some point somebody's going to say something about it. This could be... this could turn into 2 recalls and be nothing, and I not say anything about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people moving around the map, and not a lot happening. Strangely. Olaf's over to protect his blue side now, which is pretty big. He's going to have a couple of camp advantage on Heimerdoodles, who did get the double crab, but Shensard got the 3 quadrants clear, so probably would prefer to be the Olaf in that situation.
Likely, yeah. Not, I mean, equivalent to actual CS numbers, but definite XP advantage, so...
I was gonna say Olaf should be up one camp just on numbers, but and I think the gold totals will be roughly the same, but the experience is gonna be pretty favored for Shenserd. Maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. I don't jungle anymore. I can always, drop that in as a caveat to literally anything I say. It's pretty great. If you just don't play League of Legends, you can say anything you want about the game of League of Legends.
True. That's a factual statement. This feels like an overall losing trade for Mason, and I think unfortunately it stays a losing trade until he's got 6. In which case it's not really a trade, he just sort of pops ult and runs at you.
Yeah,
There's no trading.
I think once he gets Gore Drinker as well, I think that he'll be in a much stronger position. But he's definitely, as Cards just pointed out in the chat, he's got TP advantage because Kartana did teleport back. Hybridoodle's just trying to defend his Gromp from Shenserd. This is good action on the Olaf, and Mason can't really respond because he's a recall behind right now. They're still going to look for this. Mason's in, gets immediately stunned, and it's first blood for Kartana.
Yeah, you probably at a certain point have to let that one go.
Oh, Loker's in trouble.
That's rough. Yep. That's the level 6 on Akali experience. I don't know that it necessarily matters a whole lot if you have Shockwave in that scenario or not, because it's so hard to land it. But definitely a consideration. You probably can't be up there if you don't have 6.
Yeah, there was a decent-sized minion wave there, and I think Loker had already taken him back as well, so despite all of that, he's up in CS. So at least hitting the minions well, but it's a good start so far for DER. Durr. Did you happen to watch any of Worlds before we started this?
I got caught up on a couple of the happenings of Worlds.
Okay.
I'm gonna go fight NA.
True.
That one was great, by the way, and you beat me to posting it by like half an hour. So, man, this lane looks cancerous.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not sure. Cancerous might be up there with Degenerate. Twitch might ban me.
Mason's going Eclipse, it looks like, which
seems like
good
decision.
It's a good item on Aatrox in most matchups, but I don't know about this one, and I don't know about against this team specifically.
You're playing into 4 melees. If you're not building Gore Drinker here, I feel like it's a mistake. I'm not an Aatrox player by any means, or as good at the video game as Mason is, but it definitely feels like you might be like auto-buying into Eclipse when another consideration is probably better.
What happened
also,
to
they messed up the splash gun, which is
that was... He was...
Like, it's not going to matter.
It looked like he lined up correctly, and then it just blasted in the wrong direction.
Right. I'm not sure. Blast cones are not an exact science, as I've found.
Regardless, they do get the first dragon of the game, and now, and really nothing gained back for ROTM unless, I was gonna say unless Heimerdoodles is on that Rift Herald, but he's not.
No, he's still clearing up through topside, and with just the serrated Dirk to your name against plated steel caps bombies, I'm not sure you can be here. Yeah, got a roam up from Alcalora as well. Misses the Eclipse though, or that is what is it called?
Zenith Blade.
Zenith Blade, right? Eclipse is the W. Yeah, it's the W. I hate it here.
Why would you know the W?
What? Huh? I try to be well versed on all of the ability names in this video game. I don't do very well at that, by the way, but
I just try to remember the ones that matter. And like, Eclipse is a good ability, but I don't.
It's fantastic. But
I don't know that I would ever need to say it during a play-by-play.
Unless the 60 damage pop of Eclipse got the kill on somebody, you probably don't ever.
Yeah, that was a good shockwave from Loker trying to stay alive, and he does! Karma Warrior takes the extra tower shot. Flash in from Elixa does finish off the kill, and now Ragnarok underneath the tower. Oh, the undertow from Shensard strikes down Ramesor, and it's 2 for 1 in favor of DER. They'll grab the Rift Herald, or they'll drop the Rift Herald as well, and not looking so good early for the boys.
So the Undertow's on that list? Really? I mean, yeah, I guess so. It gets kills often enough.
It's the only ability that matters in his kit.
The Ragnarok?
Oh, sure.
Or
Ragnarok,
are we not
like,
counting ultis? I guess it's fair if we don't count ultis. You should know the ulti as I feel like you should know the ulti as a caster pretty much always.
But yeah, it's Undertow, and then Vicious Strikes, and then I don't know what his E is, and even though that's actually like relatively important. But
Reckless Swing?
oh, okay. That sounds
It
right.
is Reckless Swing.
Oh, Mason?
This is fight.
Oh!
Oh, he's so close too.
That one auto that he canceled comes back to bite him. I don't think that it was enough, but
It wasn't the passive auto, so I don't think it actually matters. If it was a passive auto he canceled, it definitely makes a difference. But
that still feels closer than it should be at 0-2 versus 2-0 in the top lane at even CS.
the unfortunate part about that is it being closer than it should be and still losing means now you basically never fight for the rest of lane.
Part of that is the Ignite Summoner spell that Kartana had.
Yeah. Pretty good summoner spell. I've been
I think
reliably
I've
informed.
pronounced the Sejuani's name like 4 or 5 different ways so far. I haven't stuck with one. Who knows?
That would be impressive, given that I think there's a limited number of ways to pronounce Kartana.
Yeah, well, I have Kartana.
Shinsword is dead.
Shinsword
That
is
invade was not like inspired.
As Kobe would say, that invade sucked.
For a second, I thought you were talking about me, and then I remembered that you only really know me as CJ.
Why would you call yourself Kobe? Oh, right, that is...
Because that's my name.
Yeah, okay. Do you have people that call... Anyway, that's a gank Weaver's Wall coming in from Heimerdoodles.
This is a really good gank. There's 0 places that Kartana's going. You're just dead. Yeah,
the option was to like
Heimerdoodles,
queue over Weaver's Wall, but I don't know that he had it up at the time, so that was a really well-timed gank by Heimerdoodles.
Yeah.
Well, as lopsided as the kills have been, it's still 6-3.
Okay.
It's 6-3, but it's a 200 gold lead right now for DER. So nothing really.
Yeah, a
between
lot
the
of
two
that
teams.
has to do with the bot lane having like Cairo has missed basically no farm. He's still here. This has got to be semi-infuriating, honestly.
Oh, didn't get the
He's
foot
not
back
dead,
into
I
the
don't
rocks
think.
though. Yeah, if he got
Yeah.
the shove into the rocks, I think the little micro stun might have been enough.
But after TP going down that far in health and having to burn ulti again as well, like you can't. You'd love to be able to back again, but you kind of can't.
Yeah, gotta collect that wave at least, and even then, this is a cannon wave, so the next one isn't great to back on. So you gotta wait probably 2 waves before you can really realistically go back, unless he spotted Mason doing that, which I don't know that he did. He's still gonna risk it on this wave. If Mason was playing really aggressively, that could have gone very bad right there.
Yeah, I guess his assumption is that Mason is without upgraded
Ooh, the
ulti
happy feet
moving
from
down for
Loker,
this
but now
drag.
Shensard has the flanking flank on him. Just throwing him up, axes on in, got the shock. Oh my god, the shockwave just doesn't matter. Now Mason walked down here? Why
Yep.
is Mason here? Alright, well,
He walked down for the drag, but then he thought he was doing something and he wasn't. But
yeah,
they
Cairo
did pick
picks up
up
1 kill, Alkalori goes down as well. It's a double kill for Cairo. The Seraphine popping off. Karma Warrior taken pretty low. He's got the little dash out though with the E. Kartana just trying to do anything that he can on the Sejuani, but gets flipped away by the seismic shove of Heimerdoodles. And the Talia's on a... I haven't casted in a month. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're doing great.
My
I
wife
thought.
is making fun of my pronunciation of Talia in the background.
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I don't
Poly.
know. I mean, with Kartana not having ulti there, kind of uh, unlikely that you get to do anything. You probably don't go that deep. You just try to get them off. Because I mean, like you succeeded in getting them off of Karma Warrior, right? You
Mhm.
can let it go. They're gonna get the dragon anyways. You probably go back to top and get another wave because your top laner opponent just died, right? So
Yeah.
you get to shove a little bit. Regardless, that'll be a 1-to-1 dragon score and effectively even gold. It's only about a 600, 700 swing.
Oh, Alcalora with a flanking angle. Mason forced back underneath the tower. He hits the infernal chain, but really can't do a
That's a
whole
bit
lot.
confusing. If you're already under the tower and in melee range, why not Q into ulti? That seems way more guaranteed. Regardless, that isn't going to result in anything burned on Mason's part, so they're just gonna spec into this Rift Herald, which second Rift Herald, when Dragon is 4 minutes away, is not incredible, but it's better than not having second Rift Herald. So you can use it to pop mid or top here. Both are low enough for that to matter.
I do think it's interesting. So my big worlds prep for today, listened to Jat's podcast where he was talking about how in Champions Queue and now he expects worlds, we've swapped from all Oops All Enchanters to Oops All Engage in the support role.
It's starting to, yeah, early numbers favoring that take.
I think it's really interesting. So Alcalora ahead of the trend, presumably. That's a big shockwave, though, from Loker, pulling in Karma Warrior and Shensard. They'll take down the Olaf. Mason not going to be able to do a whole lot other than just kind of threaten to stab somebody. But pick for ROTM. They lost the tower in the process, but that keeps the gold flow relatively even. And they'll set up around... I was going to say this dragon, but there's still 3 minutes to go. This is... I don't know. It's better than nothing that they got, and now have a little bit of mid lane pressure potentially as well.
Makes me wonder if that adaptation is due to the nerf shift in ADC meta, with Zeri out of the picture, Sivir being slightly less, huh?
Oh, Karma Warrior's looking for this one, and that is not going to pay off particularly well for him.
What?
Yeah,
Huh?
I don't know what the plan was there. It didn't work out regardless, so it's another kill for ROTM. And Chin of Crystal Arrow lands on Cairo. He's got to flash away. Still...
Flash Ghost, I guess, for Flash Ult, but if you're Elixia, you'd much rather have had that kill versus had both of those summoners, but...
Yeah. But now an opportunity maybe to pick Seraphine later, although I don't know why Seraphine's still in a side lane. This is hard though. You've really only got one side laning champ on ROTM.
Yeah, I mean, you could put Loker down there, but I don't feel like you get anything out of that. And you've already taken the mid tower, so you feel less inclined to have your shoving power, as it were, in the mid lane.
Yeah, late game I think it's Heimerdoodles that's your extra side laner because he can join with Weaver's Wall and he's very strong right now. But until later, I don't know. It's a mystery to be solved for ROTM, I guess. Ramessor's walking up here. Just gonna steal a soul out of Shensard. Has to be very careful. And he was not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if this works out for you. Nice dodge on the undertow, but that's both sums and you die. I don't think you can really.
Well, Weaver's Wall is gonna cut off Shensard. He's got Ghost popped. Can't get over the wall, notably. Cairo slows him down. Do they have enough damage to actually take him down? They do with the ultimate. That's should eventually be the end of Shensard. Heimerdoodles picks up his 5th kill.
Yeah, once again, Invade not panning out particularly well, but you get a 1-for-1 out of it. Ramesor having the Odin is with us experience, so. I made that connection because over this past weekend, my roommate had me watch one of the episodes at random. He just picked one of Vikings because he's convinced that I would love the show, and it was okay. Not amazing. I'm not a huge show person to begin with, so
yeah, that's kind of
his fault.
my issue as well. Like a lot of
Like a show has to be really, really incredible for me to want to spend what little free time I have watching something versus doing something more interactive.
yeah, I feel that a lot. I haven't watched too many television shows as a result of that. Oh, Solar Flare is going to land on the Heimerdoodles. They're trying to get the big shutdown on him. He's doing so much damage. Actually takes down Elixia before he falls. Mason's into the backline. Finishes off the kill on Alcalora. Meanwhile, Olaf is rampaging through, just tears through Ramesor. Mason dies on the other side. Shockwave just to pull back Shensard. Loker just trying to kite out the Olaf, but it's Loker and Cairo against the world. They'll get the snare onto Karma Warrior. Loker playing with fire here. Shensard is very low, but he's not.
Karma Warrior can't get into range. He's pretty much used everything. Protobelt and ulti both on cooldown. I don't know if he catches. Well, if he doesn't, Kartana does. So
yeah, Loker's very
not a lot of
dead
places
here.
to go. I'll donate that kill over. Karma Warrior in a pretty decent position to start being a big problem in these fights. 4-2-2 on the Akali, assumedly about to pick up another item component. What are you building out of that? Is this just straight into second item Zanya's? Because I'm not sure that's insanely good. It is. Well, I mean, it's insanely good if you have it at 21 minutes, so
yeah,
you know, buy it from nothing. Why not? Go for it. I always prefer purchasing the stopwatch, even if I can afford the full Zanya's, and get something else. Maybe the next component if I have space for it, so that I can use it. Because I'm not one of those weirdos who buys stopwatch on top of their Zanya's if they haven't used the stopwatch, so that they can double use them. That's cringe. And you are cringe if you do that, although it's very good.
I will do it on Lysandra, and that's about it. Like Champions where it actually feels really stupid. Heimerdoodles is going to get a pick on Elixia. His Weaver's walls have been very good.
Yeah, very effective. And with that pick, it might be a Baron angle. You've got 2-item jungle, you've got burn out of mid. Actually, you've got double burn working. This is a pretty easy take, I think.
Yeah, and Shensard can't get in, notably. No Blast Cone, no Flash. So, that's not going to stop Karma Warrior from not jumping in, but Baron's secured for Return to the Middle Sticks. They'll back on out, and it's about a 3,000 gold lead now for Darkwind over Degenerate Esports.
The particle effects for that Seraphine skin in particular, when everybody is affected by the shield, just makes a stack of 5 people moving that fast look so much scarier than it should. I don't know why that particular color tone terrifies me, but
the thing I've been weirded out the most about is the like fiery particles coming out of Alcalora, because I expect something purple and bright, and it just isn't visible.
Right.
So all the solar flares, I'm like, oh yeah, that was solar flare. Somebody's just stunned in the middle of that. That was a weird particle. Also doesn't help that we have like the orange filter on the rift for the Infernal Dragon as well.
Yeah, that's also true. Speaking of Infernal Dragon,
RotM looking in here, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to land on Ramesor. He's got the cleanse and doesn't quite get hit by the Sejuani ult.
Well, with those 2 pick tools down, you're not really expecting a. I mean, I guess it depends on how long, right?
Oh, Weaver's Wall, Heimerdoodles. I think he went to jump off the other side. That wasn't great. Both of the solo laners teleporting in. Mason has to back away immediately. It's 4v5 right now. Karma Warrior takes a little bit of damage, gets hit by the Infernal Chains, but not by the Senna W. And now Ramesor in a lot of trouble, but it's a huge Seraphine ult. Clips 4 people, actually. Cairo picks up 1, and now Mason's on the hunt looking for those Qs. Shensard just low on the other side. Karma Warrior hits the Zanyas, and he'll immediately die afterwards. They'll pick up 2 more kills, and ROTM goes 3 for 1.
Seraphine ult, good ability. Pretty, very pretty solid. Definitely, for sure.
That was a great Seraphine.
I don't have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
You had 3 people run towards like Seraphine ult with the shockwave that was still up
4.
as well.
Clipped the 4th person on the back
Yep.
as well. Skill expression.
Well, that being said, this is gonna put Return of the Middle Sticks on their soul point, this dragon that they're about to pick up now. Very unlikely that this gets properly contested, although Mason's a little bit homeless at the moment.
Might die here. A lot of CC between these couple of characters, and they're going to use all of it. Elixia picks up the kill. I was laughing that random scroll that just happened. My dog came up, like, put his arm on my arm, and then dropped his ball directly onto my desk, and it knocked my mouse sideways. So, Kale controlling the camera briefly there. Sorry about that.
You've got an observer.
It wasn't great. We missed. Well, we didn't miss anything, but we didn't watch anything either. Hybrid Duels is pretty strong. That's my official observation.
Tier 1 analysis.
Yeah. He's got a death cap and a void staff, so.
My tier 1 analysis is that Mason is probably a little bit stronger than he should be at 1 and 6. But yeah, it also feels a little bit odd, and this is not related, but it also feels a little bit odd that Kartana's Winter's approach is not stacked. 27 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens.
I didn't see when he picked up the tier, which means that it probably wasn't very early on. Ramesor is in trouble. Doesn't have cleanse up. Is somehow just still alive after all of that? In comes the Seraphine ult to try to turn Elixia, and Kartana gets taken pretty low. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Mason is just fighting 1v2 and doing it relatively successfully as well. The rest of the squad comes in just to pick up a couple of assists, but Mason does the work himself. That was huge. Keeping Ramesor alive as long as they did, that was kind of disgusting. And then Mason almost 1v2ing on the other side. Heimerdoodles is in with the Weaver's Wall, picks up another, and Alcalora, the last one alive. Not for much longer. The ace for Return of the Middle Sticks, and they'll take that one down.
Yep, pretty clean game from them, all things considered. A little bit rough in some of the lanes early on, but the mid game was all Return of the Middle Sticks.
Over under on your deaths, we said 3.5, and you had 4, so that's over. Cairo had a hell of a game, by the way. 213 CS on the Seraphine, 4-0 and 9. Like, that's about as effective as you can be on that champion.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. It is.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with game number 2. I almost hit stop streaming rather than the slide transition. It's been a bit. I'm going to try to eat food in between. We'll see how that goes. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back with draft for game number 2. Did you get a link?
I did not.
Okay, well there's a link.
Thank you. Oh, big information. No Udyr ban.
Yep. We're still banning Udyr.
We're still banning Udyr and nothing. So that's those ban losses are continuing.
Yeah. That would imply that it's an E-sub of some sort. And not being late. No MF. Will we see the Teemo ban? Or Aurelion Soul? Oh. They get a ban.
Interesting.
So maybe there was some lateness.
There's potential for that, for sure.
Maybe they lose 1 ban for the E-sub and then 3 more for being late or something? Or 2 more for being late? I don't know. Talia Seraphine seemed like fine bans after that last game. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Ooh, the ash blue one. Interesting.
Yeah, so we're seeing at least some adaptations, even though we didn't necessarily need to make any.
I mean, you did, because now you can't pick Seraphine, right?
True, but like you could alternatively default to the Senna again and play. Well, I guess you could still do that technically.
Morgana. Alright. That's the champion that always feels like it should be really powerful and always seems to slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Like, Morgana does a lot of good things. But
I've always said that there are very few downsides to the character, and there are very few situations where you like don't want to pick it.
Dr. Mundo.
Sleeper OP pick, in my personal opinion, right now. Dr. Mundo, nuts. With some of the recent item changes and just the overall top lane meta.
Yeah, plus you got the purple champion synergy, so a lot on your side right now.
Yeah, that's a buff right there. It is.
That does leave options for Heimerdoodles, and that'll be the deer. Not the Udyr, the actual deer. And Mason
Bambi
gets Aatrox again. That's hard to play into Dr. Mundo, though.
Yeah, I'd say arguably this matchup is actually more difficult than the Sejuani one he just played, but when you like a character the way Mason likes Aatrox, you know, he made it work just fine at the tail end of last game as well.
Yeah,
so
still definitely effective on the champion despite taking a lot of deaths early, and kept up in farm. Like, all the hallmarks of I'm pretty good at this champion. The Fiora. Alright. Mundo Jungle? Is that a thing?
It's very playable.
Is it good? Or is it just like...
I don't know that it's
playable.
Good. It's very playable. It also could reasonably be Fiora mid, although I've seen that played quite a bit recently.
Cartana was talking about the Fiora during in all chat during the game, right?
Right. So I mean,
you can't
it is
see
very...
the stream right now. Cartana said, "Fuck, I guess it's happening." Mason says, "Okay, let's see it. I will play better this game." And Cartana says, "I will not."
I will not. I have
confidence at an all-time high in the chat right now. These are both very viable ADCs, and it's going to be the Sivir locked in. I think the Kai'Sa's more meta right now, but Sivir notably has a spell shield ability, which can prevent you from being enchanted crystal arrow, so that's nice.
it can do that, which is yeah, that character real good, has been real good for a while now.
So the funniest part of this draft, right? You lock in Ash Blue 1, right? You're looking to pick people with Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Ah, fuck, you can't do Morgana because she's got Black Shield. Ah, you can't hit Mundo because of his passive. Ah, you can't hit Talia or Fiora because of the riposte. Ah, you can't hit Sivir because of the spell shield. We'd better see a mid laner without a spell blocking ability here, or we're not getting much value out of the.
This is where they lock Yasuo, right? Every time. 100%. Although you could also reasonably just play Malzahar instead.
Against Zoe, you know. Oh, is it Zoe's support? Oh my god, it's Zoe's support! Let's fucking go!
I kinda love it.
I don't against Morgana, but like, I'm a... You know, we'll take the Zoe, where we can get it. I'm a sicko, potentially. Zoe enjoying player person.
I really hope Zoe wins.
I hope Zoe wins too. She's so funny and random, just like me. I don't remember the rest of the copy pasta, I'm sorry.
I do, but I'm not gonna do it. I refuse. I hate that character.
Opponents get so trolled by the bubble. I don't remember the rest though. I'm just picking words out.
If I look at Twitch chat, it'll pop up here in a second. Oh, you haven't transitioned scenes.
Oh.
Maybe, you know, the occasional look at stream is good. I should do that more often.
Yeah. Thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Yet. I need to hire a producer. Thanks, Ramasor. Thanks, Lane, for the resub as well. Did I miss anyone? I said thanks, Oath, and thanks, Cards, I think. If I didn't, post thank you.
Big.
I do really appreciate it, especially considering I haven't streamed in like a fucking month, so. Granted, this isn't just my channel, everyone else is letting me down too by not streaming.
Facts.
Right? All the other people who have streamed on twitch.tv/middlesticksgg.
Very true.
Twitch.television. Apparently you can't ban... Did you see the Cadril clip?
Yes, you can't ban staff.
You can't ban staff from the chat. That's very funny.
That is pretty awesome.
That's a high quality Twitch clip that Lane is now a part of. Even if he got called Lipo Lane.
Yeah, no, that's pretty excellent.
I also love the what the fuck, there's 3 staff members here? As he pulled up the chat.
And then in front of 3 staff members tries to ban staff. It's pretty awesome.
Anyway, I'm gonna... Oh, nope, he's coming back.
I keep getting distracted by the by the Worlds game going on right now.
What's who's playing right now?
It's Mad Lions versus Wildcats.
Oh, the Istanbul Wildcat. Pog. I don't have strong feelings about either of those teams, I'm gonna be honest. But you got Lions versus Wildcats, so it's basically like every high school football game ever, right?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, you could sub out Lions for Bulldogs, and you're probably a little bit more accurate, but...
Lions is up there, though.
Lions is up there, Tigers, Wildcats in general, Bulldogs, the other ones that show up all the time. I ran around in a lot of Christian circles in high school because I went to a private Christian academy, so like Knights and Crusaders made frequent appearances.
Yeah, those are very popular. No, I'm kind of like probably unjustifiably, because I only picked, you know, one of the schools, but I've never been in a like really boring mascot school. So
yeah, my college had the Full Sail Armada, which was actually really fucking sick. Our our esports stadium that we built while I was there was called the Fortress, and it was actually really dope.
That's good branding. I can appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to Colorado State famously, so at the Rams, which isn't the most exciting, but it's not the least exciting, right?
No, it's definitely not the least exciting. It's not bad. That's pretty solid.
And then briefly went to UMKC. They're the Kangaroos. So
Yeah, the Ruse. Oh man. They have a pretty fanatical fan base too.
yeah, and the side note that they're called the Kangaroos because Walt Disney drew a kangaroo, and they're like that's the mascot.
That's
and
it right
Walt
there.
Disney lived in Kansas City apparently, so you have a lot of intersecting fun facts in your fun fact. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about that. I did so my high school was the Rangers. I did want to give a shout out to the Liberty High School Lancers because that is the coolest fucking combination I think that was around me in high school. Liberty Lancers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's pretty dope. I like that one. Of course, I'm a huge fan of the Fate anime series, so Lancer being my favorite character archetype doesn't hurt.
I know very little about that anime dash everything at this point.
You can't it sucks because you can't even say universe. They have multiple of those as well.
Yeah.
It's one of the more convoluted series of anything that I've tried to get into at any point in time.
Yeah, we were just talking about how I don't really watch too many shows, so not really on the hype train there.
I mean, yeah, anime included.
Yeah.
I've watched my fair amount, but I don't even really. I recently stopped paying for Crunchyroll for the first time in 4 years, so that should tell you where I'm at.
See,
just about anime.
When I was in college and I had a lot of free time, I watched a lot of anime, but I have not since then. So most of the recent shows, even the big bangers, I've watched most of Demon Slayer. That's about it. I haven't seen Attack on Titan. I haven't seen. I don't even know.
Hot take: AOT's not worth it. I'm about halfway through Demon Slayer at the moment.
So I watched 2 episodes of Attack on Titan, and it really creeped me out.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it anymore.
Academia's not bad. MHA's. It's not my speed, so I don't really watch it, but it's pretty good. It's well made.
I tried to watch that one and couldn't really get into it. Yeah, just not hitting for me. I don't know why.
I tend to, because of I mean, maybe this is just an adaptation for how much time I have, but I tend to like the one season, one-off 12 or 24 episode animes that I can just binge in a weekend if I feel like not playing anything that weekend.
I'm trying to think the last actual show I watched. I watched a lot of Letterkenny, not an anime, notably.
Notably not an anime.
I think that was the last thing that I watched a lot of.
Right now,
I guess we watched cooking shows while Ash and I were dead with COVID. So
underappreciated category, IMO.
Yeah, we watched Iron Chef and then Final Table and then
yeah,
Next Level Chef. Yeah.
Me and my roommate have a tradition where we rewatch the first 7 first 7. We rewatch 7 out of the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones every winter. So that's what we're doing currently.
Oh, nice.
The show before that I actually watched through, I think, was WandaVision.
Oh, I guess I did watch Loki. It's the only part of the MCU since I've seen every movie and everything up to Infinity War, and that's the last one, right? Infinity War wasn't the first part, it was the second part. I think that's right. Anyway, yeah, up to that. So what they call it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe Part 1 and 2 or whatever. I've watched all of those. And then the only
Yeah,
thing
most of
since
those
then
are
I've watched is
pretty
Loki.
high production value.
Yeah, the only thing I've watched since then is Loki. I haven't seen any of the movies. I kind of wanted to go see like Black Widow and the new Thor movie, and just haven't. Flash Dark Binding from Elixia gets the trade flash from My God, Ramen something like that. Do need to ask him at some point. Maybe he'll pop back in. We can ask if it's supposed to be like based on the character Ramus.
Yeah, no, that's definitely worth asking. That's a good question.
Always kind of like the background on some of the names, especially if they're kind of weird, right? That was a blind dodge by Cairo.
The Dodge by Merit of Existence, one of my personal favorites.
He listed lazily to the left. The correct answer to that is, boy, that guy knows some maneuvers, but that's also like Family Guy Star Wars, so like that's not a valid reference. I don't know why I'm blanking on words. I blame working 10.5 hours today.
That seems reasonable.
No, it's really dumb. I was just gonna do the vacuum portion and then do the rinse all my vials, and then I was gonna run UV Viz tomorrow, and then because it's the stupid client's method, it says specifically in there you have to do it all in one day, so I had to stay 2.5 hours late to run on the UV Viz, which is the dumbest instrument that ever existed.
Disgusting. This is an issue.
Not dumb. Elixia, very low. One more auto. The burn from Ignite gets first blood for Cairo on the support Zoe.
Yeah, notably, absolutely 0 damage of that was magical, so Black Shield blocked completely nothing. That's a good spell shield, so Alcalora staying fairly safe.
I think prevented Elixia from falling asleep, if I'm playing it back in my head correctly. But yeah, it didn't.
No, definitely went to sleep.
Oh, did go sleepy night. All right. Well.
Yeah, opponents get so trolled by the bubble.
I'm interested in Cartana opting for Grasp this game into the Aatrox.
It is a little, like, theoretically speaking, it's a little bit more sustained than like a Conqueror would be.
It means that your trading pattern is more sharp as well. Like, you want to get your grass proc up and then get your one grass proc and out. Whereas when you go Conqueror, you're looking for like longer extended combos to build it up.
Yeah, ideally your fight would not include doing anything more. Ideally you'd get grass proc up off of a couple minion autos, and then you would get both your vital and your grass proc off of the same queue. Is like the perfect world scenario.
Cairo and Ramesar have been very aggressive with their Zoe Ashe. It's causing a little bit of trouble for Alcalora and Elixia, but Alcalora is staying completely even in CS despite that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see if that pays off a little bit later. They're looking for Shensard right now. Cairo with the bonk over the wall, Heimerdoodles. Does the burn? It's not quite enough burn just yet. No Leandries just yet on either AP champion, and so Mundo will walk away. Down a flash. Does Fleet proc on jungle camps?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it does proc on regular minions too. I don't know why I'm asking that. Okay.
I do think it's a little interesting that Fleet was the selection, but I guess it makes sense.
What's a normal Dr. Mundo rune then?
Good question. For jungle specifically, I don't know if you really have one. Like maybe there's a world where if you're playing into the E gives you a bunch of attack damage, you go phase rush and you just play him kind of like you'd play a bruiser in the early game.
That sounds neat.
I have lost a game to a 28 kill full crit AD Dr. Mundo top before. he would pop. It was when it was before this change for Dr. Mundo. It was when the E was an auto reset, and he would hit E and it had a modifier on it, and he would hit E and he'd hit you for like 1200 or so
Was
after 4 items.
so that was pre-update Dr. Mundo, or
Yeah, pre-update Mundo.
okay.
Well, one of the minor updates. There's been quite a few changes over the course of League's full history, but
I still miss Maltharock Phytamus. It's the big loss, the AD Mal fight.
we will never see his like again.
Cartana's hit level 6 before Mason. Doesn't look like it's gonna matter too much, but
Yeah, the one thing about the grass build is you are missing like a reasonable amount of front-loaded damage. There isn't like a crazy amount of damage outside of keystones and runes, so not taking an offensive keystone, even one that isn't very front-loaded like Conqueror, means you do miss out on some kill opportunity on lane early.
I don't even feel like I talked about Yone got picked for Karma Warrior.
Yeah, definitely a different look from the Akali.
It notably can be bubbled, so it doesn't quite fit the theme of the team comp, but can snap back away from the bubble, I guess, if you get hit while you're in E. Mason looking for the solo bolo, and Cartana not quite able to get the sustain that he needed to live through that. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Yone just zips in. They're trying to get enough damage onto Rammus, or Shensard eventually finishes that one off. Heimerduel's just trying to stand his ground, hits a Q onto Alcalora, the dash over the wall from Karma Warrior finishes off Cairo, and it's just Heimer left alone underneath his tower. Oh, he couldn't!
Oh no.
He was trying to flash the thick part of the wall and couldn't quite get over. Loker doesn't have Mega Inferno Bomb. I don't know when he used it, but if he had that, that's a relatively free kill on Elixia. As it is in... Oh.
I don't know if that's the direction
now.
he was looking for, but...
he might still win the... Oh no, the snapback, the extra damage from Karma Warrior is enough. Just wasn't quite able to find that last bouncing bomb or the damage from the Mega Inferno Bomb.
Yeah, the flash from Karma Warrior, very important.
That was a close little 1v1. That was relatively entertaining. Not something I thought I'd say about Ziggs Yone, but here we are.
There's a little more nuance to the lane than it appears, but not by a lot. It is pretty cut and dry.
I feel like that is just an issue with the character Zig.
Yeah, that may be true. So the Lilting Lullaby definitely not used, considering that we jumped immediately to bot. It was a nice sidestep there, but I don't know if you're getting... Well, you're getting Black Shield, so I guess there is no chase to follow that up with.
Yeah, I mean, could have put a little bit more damage in there, I think, with a volley or an auto or two from Ramesor, but no reason, especially now that Alcalora has to go back to base now, especially with Ramesor's ult up. That's just not... You cannot stay. Oh, Dark Binding gonna land onto Cairo. Mason trying to make something happen, but instead he's getting ganked by Shensard. Pops a World Ender, finishes off Cartana, and now Shensard doesn't get pulled back because he's still got his passive up. He didn't even need to dodge out, just does anyway. Saves his passive though, which maybe is important now because he can't get slept by Heimerdoodles. Now he can. Money
So,
man.
That whole interaction happened because Cartana chose to riposte a max range Q1 from Aatrox, which, if you're not planning on trading after that fact, you never use that. Because it means when you do get all-in, or when you try to all-in off of a gank, you're missing probably your most important tool into Aatrox.
What does Yone say? Excuse me?
Most of my voice lines are off, so I have no idea.
Something about a gale.
speaking of Gale, if he happened to go Gale Force this game, that is one of my favorite Yone builds, because that's what Yone really needs in the long run, is more gap close.
I can't say I've ever seen that, but that sounds disgusting. And also, like, it's still not better than Shield Bow, but you know.
Oh, it's definitely worse than Shield Bow, but it does make your the point at which you go, like, you can go in with E from about 2.5 screens away. It's like playing old Rakan, but you do damage. It's very interesting.
You can just play AP Recon.
I miss that. I would do that if it was still like as good as it used to be.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Kairo's in dead. He has a cheap die. Ramesor in a little bit of trouble as well, but he'll be able to get underneath this tower. It'll make Shenser think a little bit better of it. But still another kill onto Cairo. This feels like it hasn't been a super eventful game, but we still have 8 kills in 12 minutes, and it's a 2,000 gold lead for Return of the Middle Sticks. I mean, a lot of that's just top lane. That's just the 2 kills on Mason plus the little CS advantage, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Minus like 300 gold, but...
Also, the entire tower in mid lane for Loker.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's kind of balanced out by the kills on Karma Warrior, so...
It's also, like, an affect of Ziggs.
Cairo is playing very aggressively on the Zoe, like putting himself in positions that you don't normally want to be a Zoe. Elixia hits the Dark Binding and gonna pay for that one as Cairo picks up the kill. Yeah, I got kind of caught in between Ashe and the rest of ROTM. Karma Warrior over the wall. I don't think Cairo actually needed to flash away from that one, but did anyway. Heimerdoodle's going in, hits the 2-man sleep. Shensered and Alcalora both going... You have a big sleep comp, really. That's the big play for Return to the Middle Sticks. Anyway, Dragon started up now. Heimerdoodle's pretty low. Smites to conserve his health, which doesn't look like it's going to cost him, because Cairo also has Smite. And he missed the Smite. Alright, well... You know.
At least you don't, like, miss the dragon as well. It doesn't
Yeah, they got the
really
dragon.
matter.
Yeah, it's just... That was his moment. You know, you only get so many Smites as support Zoe. You gotta land them, right?
Right. That trade right there is kind of the whole top lane experience this game in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think the Angry Bee emote kind of sums up how Gartana's feeling up there. He kind of dashed directly back into the middle of that Q3, and Mason didn't really have to do anything other than aim it.
Yeah, not particularly. Seems pretty free.
Alright, I'm fight NA. Oh, Kyra just stole that minion. What an asshole. What was that wet sound? I feel like Yone's sound effects are all messed up in Spectator Client or something.
Perhaps.
Like it sounded like Pool Party Yone, which isn't his skin. Oh, I guess he does have like Ocean Song or whatever. It sounded like he was hitting it with a pool. Sleep on to Elixia. They'll pick up 1 kill in the top lane. Cartana in trouble. Knock up Q2, Q3, the auto to follow. The burn from Heimerdoodles picks it up now. 2 more on the way. Shensered and Karma Warrior trying to take down Mason. The healing just not quite enough from Mason. Heimerdoodles is out of mana, and he can't finish off the kill as a result of that one. Gets taken down by Karma Warrior. It's a 2 for 2, all things considered. But Loker might give him a little advantage on the other side as he'll take that one down, and Cairo and Ramesor take down the mid lane tower as well.
that Ziggs was so fast.
He was quite
I mean, I
speedy.
guess it was just it was just Luden's proc, but like he was moving.
Oh, they're trying to turn on the Shensered. I don't think they quite have that one, especially with the Fate Sealed Karma Warrior. He'll snap back and finish off Ramesor. Alexia and Cairo have a little supportal combat happening. Dark Binding not quite going to land from Alexia and Cairo. Knows that Karma Warrior is trying to invade the sacred right of supportal combat, so it's going to just run away.
Yeah, we don't engage with that. So they've moved Cortana down to the bot side, presumably to pick up a little more farm and try to become a champion again, because Fiora at 03 and level 11, not particularly a champion. Not nearly as behind as I would look in this particular scenario. I would definitely have continued fighting well beyond my capabilities in top lane and be like 05 right now, but
That Mason's Aatrox is just kind of good anyway, so hard to match up correctly against that one. Well, what's the next step for Return of the Middle Sticks? It looks like not one of their steps, but Shinsered looking bottom lane for the gank onto Mason. Cartana does get the big heal from the Grand Challenge. Mason trying to kite it out, but really doesn't have anywhere to go. Gets a little heal from the Eclipse. Excuse me, Mason? No, he doesn't win this.
no, he would need one more rotation of Qs. Speaking of people who don't win this, Karma Warrior does not win this.
He almost got Cairo. So
He did,
very similar
and that was-
results on opposite sides
That
of
was
the
4
map.
people, so that's, you know, props to him.
Yeah.
Granted, he was 5-1, so
Yeah,
or 5
teleport
and 0.
away from
that time.
Loker to go ahead and grab that bottom wave. We'll escort Sheila in on the top side. Let's see, we'll get the crash in. Looks like yes is going to be the answer to the crash into the tier 2.
We've got another dragon spawning up here. It's a little weird that dragons have kind of fallen this far by the wayside. 18 minutes, 1 dragon down.
Yeah, the Infernal Dragon's been up for a little bit here, but now ROTM headed on down. But yeah, the first dragon was taken at like 12, 13 minutes. It's very late. And I don't think we got first Rift Herald either. I'm pretty sure it was just the one. Unless they used it
I
really
think you're
early
right.
to get the mid tower? I don't remember. I don't know. Am I paying attention to this game? Who knows?
Who can say, really?
It's like listening to Rivington's old cast. Was he paying attention? Who knows? He was definitely talking, though. That sounds really mean. I actually really liked Rivington. And now he casts Valorant, I guess, and is very good at that?
Very good at that, yes. Props to Rivington and the Valorant casts.
Yeah. Valorant's pretty fun to watch. I enjoy the Valorant.
I'm pretty
esports.
excited. Sentinels did get their spot, so
I still think I like CSGO a little bit more because it's much easier to understand what the fuck is going on. But Valorant has its moments, at least.
I think Valorant has the opportunity to be a little more hype. I don't think Karma Warrior is making it out of this one. He's
No,
definitely
he-
not.
We'll heal. Okay. Alkalora
Little heal,
in
little
trouble
shield.
as well.
Alkalora.
This
Nope,
is-
he is the trouble. He is the one who knocks. Or is he, in fact?
Oh my god!
Heimerdoodles is a menace.
Yeah, there's a couple
to
of
many
things happening
societies.
here. Heimerdoodles picks up 2 kills. Cartana goes in, does finish off Cairo, but now in trouble himself. That's a nice flash over the thick part of the wall.
Yeah, that was well played out there by Cartana, but like, there's a lot to be said for a well played moment when you're getting away, and that's pretty much all Cartana's been doing all game is getting away.
Yeah, that's I just wanted to highlight very quickly the really disgusting sleep into Mega Inferno Bomb combo that we saw Alexia get hit with. That was gameplay at its finest in League of Legends. Another Baron for Return of the Middle Sticks and an 8,000 gold lead now at 20.
Yeah, definitely very interactive, that particular combo.
I think I figured it out. Yone's sounds are just louder than everyone else's. They're not wrong. They're just much louder than every other sound in the game for some reason.
Interesting.
It's not as bad.
I wonder if that actually is a spectator experience, or if
Do you
they just...
remember there was a patch? Was it Urgot? Oh, the Pike. When Pike used
it's
Ghost Water
Pike.
Dive.
Yep.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
god. Every time he hit his
Actually,
W,
eardrum shattering.
you would just rupture your eardrums immediately if you were spectating. Oh my god.
Was that me?
Yeah, I think that there was a small one with the Urgot for a while. I also remember there was the permanent chains around the edge of the screen whenever he killed someone.
That one was fun. I kind of
So
enjoyed that one.
He'd kill
Different
someone for the first time,
experience.
and then the entire spectator game was chains after that. Loker picks off Alexia with the very high gameplay combo. Rambosaur doesn't have too much to say himself, though, as he gets run down by Kartana. Loker, nice flash over the wall as he's able to get out. Karma Warrior goes in with the Fate Sealed. Doesn't quite pick anything up, though. Kartana over the wall will finish off Cairo. Flash from Alcalora trying to escape on the other side. Mason does hit the Infernal Chains, and Hybrid Duels finishes him off. Kartana, the last one alive. Hybrid Duels giving him a little bit more respect than I think that he needed to there, and finally hits the Swirl Seed, gets reposted. W doesn't quite have the Watch Out Eep. That's an important ability name, by the way.
I agree.
I couldn't tell you what the Q's name is, but boy, if W isn't Watch Out Eep.
It's Blooming Blows.
Okay, I was gonna say something like that, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. I was legitimately thinking Blooming Blows or Blooming Burst, to be clear. I haven't looked any of these up. We're workshopping names right now. It's not getting much closer in this game. Return of the Middle Sticks kind of running away with it. Do you feel like Degenerate Esports has a big win con hidden somewhere?
I mean, there's a world, right? You get Black Shield onto the Yone, he hits like a 3 or a 4 man ulti, and everyone's just like at half health or lower, and dies to like a boomerang blade or something.
Like, I think the hardest part is
I don't
we've
think
been seeing almost ideal team fights for Degenerate Esports. They've been very spread out, kind of 1v1s and 2v2s, which ideally work well for the Fiora and the Yone, but RTM's still just been winning them. It hasn't been as clean as the mid game was in game number 1, but they're still winning all of the fights.
Yeah, and we're pretty far away. I'm not sure exactly how it goes super late game. Fiora, one of the single greatest late game split pushers in League of Legends, but right now definitely not capable of like moving the map apart and splitting.
Ooh, Swirl Seed's
the
gonna
enemy
land
to
on
death.
Alexia. And that means that they'll be able to chase down the Morgana. Alcalora just trying to set up shop, but gets hit by a Blooming Burst. Double kill for Hybrid Doodles. The snapback from Karma Warrior. Do they have anything left in the tank? The Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't quite finish off the Yone either, and ROTM just set up now on the bottom side of the map. There's no minion wave for quite a bit, so this is just a very strange push right now as Hybrid Doodles wraps around into that mid lane.
Yeah, and it feels like it's not that they're playing the fights incorrectly, they just don't have enough resources at any given time. They're too far behind to really get any of these shutdowns off of Heimerdoodles and Loker and company.
God, that's so much damage. Like, Loker hasn't... I don't want to say he hasn't done anything. He's been playing the champion Zig, so he's just been farming it up and he's hit his item spikes, and those Mega Inferno bombs and his bouncing bombs are just chunky. Maybe I'm not used to it anymore because I play exclusively Howling Abyss, where he's like 20% nerfed or some shit.
And with the early tower pressure and such, they've also just been starving Degenerate Esports out of a lot of their resources in the jungle and lanes as well. So getting farm is becoming increasingly difficult. Luckily, they have some champions that are very easy to farm with, so that the CS numbers don't look that bad by comparison. I guess I think the biggest one would be the lack of jungle resources for Shensurd versus Heimerdoodles. I mean, 226 on the Lilia, with the kills, definitely the richest individual in the game.
Oh, they're not looking for Mason. This is a very strange setup that's happening, but our team has started the Baron and are killing the Baron,
And the Baron is gone.
and it's very dead. There wasn't like a big setup for that. It just kind of our team walked up and took it, and I don't know if Degenerate Esports were aware until that blue trinket went down, but they were not in position to do anything about it.
No, they just, once again, they don't have the setup, they don't have the vision to be able to walk in confidence. And the other nice thing about Return of the Middle Sixes comp is they have a lot of effective range. Like, the bubble makes things really easy and scary to walk into in the jungle specifically. Loker's playing the champion Zig. Even the Swirl Seed is a threat at pretty much any distance, assuming you've got a clear path. That's unfortunate.
Ooh,
Hawkshot, good ability.
Kairo's got the really overpowered Gore Drinker on Zoe, so that's great. Oh, that was a sneaky little Ash out.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I don't know if that was aimed that way, if that was a mistake. That was really nice, though, by Ramasaur. Regardless, it works out nicely. They lose the champion Zig, but they'll pick up 2 in return. And now they're blowing flashes? Oh, that was just a Zoe extra.
Oh, that's
flash. Okay.
that's just the Zoe experience.
Yeah.
The post team fight Zoe flash celebration.
It was aimed. We curved the arrow around the Dr. Mundo. Ramasaur confirms. Kartana's dead, and so are the hopes of a reverse sweep for Degenerate Esports Perform. Mason set in the front line. Heimerdoodles is legendary. He's got 12 kills now on the Lilia. He is making them watch out and Eep at the same time, which is very difficult, notably. I've said notably a lot.
We made this. It's also mine.
Oh
like,
my
we
God.
made this observation last time. Yeah, Heimerdoodle's kind of flexing a little bit. 14-1 and 7 on the Lilia, a little crazy. Ramasaur definitely doing his best Angelina Jolie in the movie Wanted cosplay in that last team fight.
Ooh.
But yeah, another really clean game from them.
Yeah, it's a 2-0 for Return of the Middle Sticks Darkwind. They improved to 6-0 on the season and have a chance for the perfect regular season next week against Dorado Gaming Kappa. The Dogs going to make an appearance on the stream. That doesn't traditionally go well for us, but we'll see how we do next week. Yeah, no real notes. Cairo had a really good series, but Heimerdoodles, as usual, just they gave him 2 of the 4 champions that he plays, and he played them. And
He did in fact play them, for sure.
Yeah, so that does it. I don't know about Sunday night. I still need to check and see if we're gonna have the surprise party stream or not. But if I don't see you then, we'll see you on Thursday for Darkwind versus Dorado Gaming. So that'll do it for us tonight. Victoris is doing Valorant. Go watch Valorant, I guess. Because I don't feel like Ow! Kale? That's my foot. Sorry. Yeah, go watch some Victoris Valorant, I guess, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, I didn't turn on music.